Let's take some tzedakah, put it in the pushka. And the Rambam, in the new cycle that we just started learning as of last week, as the Rebbe has established the learning of the 3 chapters every day, the Rambam discusses the laws of prophecy and prophets. And although the Talmud says that prophecy has basically been discontinued, but as the Rambam is of the opinion that before the coming of Mashiach, prophecy will return. And indeed, as we see it, especially since the Baal Shem Tov and the Rabbeim, that they all had very powerful prophetic powers and visions. So here a story. Lately in the news there was about this Chassid, Rabbi Ephraim Moll. Rabbi Ephraim Moll was a Holocaust survivor with an interesting story, and actually he was scheduled last week to recite the Kel Mole Rachamim in Yad Vashem on Memorial Day, Yom HaShoah. But unfortunately, just prior to that, he had a heart attack and he passed away. And he has a very interesting story that he shared. So first of all, who was he? He was a child survivor of the Holocaust, and he was born in Belgium in 1938. At the age of 2, he was separated from his parents. They were arrested by the Nazis. He was then sent to a monastery in France, where for about 2 years, I think, he was looked after by nuns, and then eventually they were taken back by a Jewish family. When the deportations in Paris started, or intensified in 1942, he was hidden in an apartment in the suburbs of Paris by a righteous Gentile until the liberation of 1944. Having grown up as an orphan in post-war France, he enlisted in the French Foreign Legion and fought in the Algerian War. After he was discharged from the army, he immigrated to Eretz Yisrael, settled on a kibbutz, Sde Eliyahu, and there he suddenly became familiar with Yiddishkeit and with the teachings of the Rebbe, and he became an observant Torah Jew, a Chassid, and him and his wife Rachel established a warm Chabad home. And then he tells the following event that happened to him. He was a soldier during the Yom Kippur War, and he found himself on the Egyptian side of the Suez Canal. And then there was suddenly a scare about a chemical attack by the Egyptians. And Chief of Staff gave out an order that everybody must have with them a gas mask and ready to put it on a moment's notice. To put it on, they claimed that a beard would hinder the efficiency of the gas mask, and therefore they requested, or they demanded, I should say, that all the Hasidic religious soldiers must shave their beards. Now, Ephraim was not ready to do that. So he went to see his superior, his immediate superior, and explained to him, if I have to shave my beard, I'm going to be useless as a soldier. If you remember the story with Shimshon HaGibor cutting his hair, to me it's the same thing. Without my beard, I don't feel like a man, and I'm certainly not a soldier. After negotiations back and forth, his superior accepted the fact that he was going to ask the Rebbe what to do, and whatever the Rebbe will say, they'll accept. It wasn't easy to reach the Rebbe, but he succeeded through the Chabad office in Jerusalem to ask that question, what he should do, because it was him and another 2 soldiers. And the Rebbe responded the following. After 2 days, he got a call from his wife and said the Rebbe answered 4 points. Number one, there will not be any chemical attacks. Number two, you can prove to your superiors that you can wear a mask with the beard on. Number three, in case they will refuse, offer you should have with you a pair of scissors, and on a moment's notice, if necessary, God forbid, you will cut the beard and put on the mask. And number four, said the Rebbe, in World War I, where the soldiers were supposed to put on gas masks, World War I, there were some Indian Sikh soldiers, and they have beards for religious reasons, and they didn't have to put on the mask. They did not require from them to shave their beards. And indeed, as the Rebbe said, there was no chemical attack.